Something is not adding up. People are working, some people working overtime, some people got two jobs. They still saying they don't have enough money. And that's the part I think people are getting tired of, because we was always told that if you work hard, you'll be okay. You might not be rich. You might not have everything you want, but at least you'll be able to pay your bills, gas in your car, have a little something left over. But now, for a lot of people, that little something left is gone. The checks come in, and before you even can enjoy seeing that money in your account, it's already spoken for. Rent, car insurance, lights, groceries, gas, phone bills, and don't let something unexpected happen. So I found a few people talking about what it's actually like trying to survive out here now, and I want y'all to listen.
For you guys, when are people going to really stop pretending like everything is okay in America? The credit card debt rises to $1.26 trillion. Wow. An all-time record high.
Yes.
Do you guys remember when people used to get credit cards? It was for like big time purchases. Like, let's say if you really needed like a laundry machine.
Yep.
Or whatever. Maybe you wanted something really nice, but it was like just like a big purchase. Or they usually use it for like vacations. Yeah. Now people are using it just to survive. They're using it to literally buy food. We are in a mortgage debt crisis. We are in an auto loan debt crisis. We are in a credit card debt crisis, student loan, you name it. It's literally like debt America. Then they did some surveys and they said that 63% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. 90% have less than 500 left each month. So my question is this: when are people going to stop pretending like everything's okay? Because it's not. It's clearly not. And the system that we have in place, it's not working, because there are jobs that people cannot get anymore. They've completely f***ed over the world for millennials and Gen Z. And it's sad. A lot of Gen Z should be like living in apartments with friends and living the time of their lives, but they can't even do that. A lot of them are at home. Heck, a lot of millennials are still at home with their parents. And sometimes I watch the news. I watch the news just to be like informed. I read a lot. I watch the news. I'm a millennial, so we were kind of raised like that. So I still do it, but I still have critical thinking. But sometimes it's like I'm watching the news and it's just like these people are living like everything is okay. Like, we're not even getting accurate information. It's so dystopian, and I can't sit here and pretend like it's getting worse, and we need to figure this shit out and do something about it, because I just don't see like.
People are talking about the economy is going to crash. Newsflash, the economy has already crashed. We have teens and young adults, and what I mean by teens and young adults, 17-year-olds up to 30-year-olds. They're making decent money. They're actually making more than we made when we were teenagers, and they can't afford cars. They can't afford to move out on their own. On a daily, I see people riding back and forth using Uber and Lyft. They're paying $25 and up one way to get to work. And they're not realizing that they're just working to pay to get to work.
So recently, a bunch of CEOs of companies were complaining that not enough consumers, their customer base, are spending money anymore. People instead are choosing to save money and skip purchasing their items. And instead of them acknowledging that maybe it's because of inflation, their corporate greed, anything, they just made it seem like people weren't spending money anymore. People don't have money to spend on anything that's not necessary anymore. They have to cut out every single thing. And unfortunately for you, your $5 hash brown at McDonald's is not necessary for the rest of us. Like, they're really confused as to why people aren't spending money. They genuinely can't understand why we're not buying the things we were buying before. We don't have it to buy. Like, discretionary funds are barely there. With inflation as high as it is and wages not keeping up at all, and then y'all charging us the same price for things that have gotten smaller and worse quality, please. But I'm telling y'all, they feel the effects too. They're noticing as well that we're not buying stuff, because no one deserves your money more during a recession than you. And although I know you're probably upset that you can't spend as much money as you used to spend, just know that you not spending money is annoying the billionaires, and that should make you happy enough.
I think another recession indicator that I'm seeing right now is a lot of these apartments, people are moving out and they are staying empty. Where I live in the city is usually bustling around this time of year with college students moving in, people starting new jobs moving in. I find that August and the start of fall brings in an influx of people. This year, however, I can count on one hand the amount of people I saw moving in on my entire strip alone. I live amongst many apartment complexes. On a regular year, you would have to dodge carts and families on the sidewalk moving their kids into apartments and dorms, whether that be on the undergrad level or the graduate level. Not only are people not taking the risk of allowing maybe their child to share an apartment with a friend for college, people that could intend on moving for jobs are no longer doing so. And I'm willing to bet that people are also choosing much cheaper colleges that don't require travel across state lines. It's interesting to see how, since I've lived here, there was a housing crisis in the fact of people can't get in, to in just 2 years, the opposite being the case where nobody is moving in and the crisis is empty rooms and apartments.
They're doing the best to hide that we're in a recession because they want you out there freely spending your money up until you can't. That's why they're trying to convince you that looking at the stock markets is how you figure out what the economy is doing, but realistically, it's the consumer. Like, time and time again, I see people saying, like, oh, if it gets too costly, what we're gonna do? People have already started doing. They've already stopped paying. They're trying to convince you so much that there's so many gains to make in the market right now, but realistically, it's very erratic in there. People are having big gains, but they're also having big losses. And that's the part that they're not sharing with you. Even the billionaires that are all Team Orange and endorsed him and donating to his campaign, even they're suffering, even with all their big gains. They're just not reporting that part to you. More settlements are getting reached. More class actions are being filed. And less people are spending. I told you before about how they were upset and annoyed that people weren't spending money anymore, even though they were the ones causing people not to spend money because everything's so stupidly priced and low quality. If you want to know how the economy is going, just see how people are spending. If people are spending okay, then everything's all right. But if people are spending less and less and saving more, well, good luck, Charlie.
We have a new recession indicator. I'm not the only one who have seen multiple rich people on here complaining about Amex, saying that they're canceling their Amex cards because they've been cut off. So all these people kind of have the same story. They basically do everything through Amex, okay? They have all of their business cards there, all of their employee cards, their personal account or their personal credit cards, everything is there. And they just all randomly got notice basically saying that they now have a spending limit. So previously they had no limits, just like a charge card. You charge everything to that card and every month you pay your balance off in full, okay? It's not like minimums or whatever. And they've been notified that they now have a spending limit and they previously haven't. And they've all made good on their payments. So it's not like, oh, I missed a payment and now they're enforcing a limit. It's just random. This is 110% a recession indicator. These financial institutions, they don't want to loan out money in that amount anymore. They're trying to add restrictions, especially for businesses because of how the economy is doing. They don't want to take the risk of allowing you to spend all this money, an unlimited amount, and then your business go under and they don't get the money back. You file for bankruptcy, they don't get the money back. They don't want to take the risk anymore. Even though you've been a faithful, loyal client, you don't show any signs of not having the money to pay, they're not willing to take the risk. And a lot of these people saying that they're leaving Amex, they caused a complaint. Some of them said they closed some of the accounts. At first, when I seen the first guy, I was like, hey, dang, maybe a one-off situation. But no, now I'm seeing multiple videos of people complaining about Amex changing their spending limits.
See, this is exactly what I'm talking about. And what stood out to me is that nobody is really talking about living some huge luxury lifestyle. They talking about regular life. That's what makes the conversation different. We're not talking about somebody saying, I can afford a new designer purse. People are saying, I went grocery shopping and barely got anything in these bags. They saying my rent went up. My insurance has went up. I don't go anywhere anymore because everything costs too much. That's a completely different conversation. And I think that's why so many people relate to these videos, because you can sit at home and think you're the only one. You start looking at your own bank account like, what am I doing wrong? And then you hear somebody in another state saying they're going through the same exact thing. Then somebody else says it. And eventually you realize, okay, maybe this isn't just me. And another thing I've noticed is people are cutting out all the little extras. The eating out, cut it. Shopping, cut it. Going somewhere on the weekend, cut it. Subscriptions, cut it. People are going through those too. But after you cut everything, what happens when it's still tight? Because you only can cut so much. Eventually, all that's left is like actual bills. And that's the scary part. You still need gas to get to work. You still have to eat. So I want to know, what is looking like where y'all live? Are you noticing the same thing? And what's the one bill that has gone up so much that you really noticed it? Because for me, that's where the real conversation is, not what somebody's on television saying people should be feeling. I'm talking about what regular people are actually experiencing. I see y'all in the next video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I'm out.
True, don't get sugar-coated. Keep it real so you know we gon' be speaking on it. Got the latest headlines on what's going down. We keep our eyes open before it all hits the ground. Southern economy, hit that light. Make sure you subscribe. Real talk, real true, real life, we go survive. I got my eye wide open, but when the markets hit the ground, you got them pockets wide open. When them dividends come around, oh baby, just hit that like, subscribe. I might teach you a little something about how to make $1 out of dime. I'm a real prepper, stockpiling before the shit hit the fan. I only trust in God, I don't depend on man. True, don't get sugar-coated. We keep it real and we keep it rolling.